There.
Oh,
That'll suffice.
This is my husband. Don't. That's husband. Like my.
Oh. Oh, mine?
yes.
Turn the light through.
That's okay, I caught it. I love the When did I miss?
I said, I saw someone's husband. And she didn't see him. And then she goes, oh, mine.
Yeah. They're gonna. No, she doesn't. Are you?
No, she wanted to say
She's gonna. She's gonna wait. They're gonna start. Sorry.
someone was. It doesn't matter if she's coming back or not. Put it down, and if she sings, she'll be heard or not be heard. But she probably won't be heard. When she starts letting you go, she's home for winter break.
That's as down as it's getting.
And I said to her, I couldn't go on Thursday night because David had his holiday concert at Pinecrest. He's all so I'm not going to miss this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna just start playing, okay?
I went to
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So nice to be with you on this Erev Shabbat. As we began our service with our adult choir, thank you so much to have our adult choir here. We have, that is a very hot microphone, isn't it? Yeah, it is a very hot mic. Maybe you turn me down a little bit, thank you. So we are thrilled to have our adult choir here. I'm going to speak quieter because my microphone is really hot, so we're going to turn it down a little bit, and then it's going to be better so that you don't have to hear like every pronunciation of my voice. Cantor Mushnik's going to just mute me, and it's going to be great, and then no one's going to hear me at all. Howie is here also on the tof, on our drums, and so we are thrilled to have all of you here for this wonderful, cool Florida evening. Who put on like a sweater today? See, you're wearing your sweater. Anyone had like found your sweaters because it was like your jackets and sweaters because it cooled off? Yes, it's so exciting. I know it goes below 70 and it's very exciting. Yay. We are also excited tomorrow at 12 p.m. Jason will be becoming bar mitzvah here at Congregation B'nai Israel, so we are thrilled to have him and family here to join us on this Erev Shabbat, and also, of course, tomorrow. So, if it's your first time here or you've been here many times, you can find your prayer book, your siddur, right under your seat. So reach right under your seat, and that's where you're going to find your book. Reach right under, I promise it's there. If it's not right under your seat, then there's one right next to you. Maybe the seat right next to you. You have to reach a little bit further back, but I promise they're all there. It says Mishkan Tfilah on the cover, and so there's English and Hebrew and transliteration in there so that we can be fully present for our entire service together. We are going to continue with the lighting of Shabbat candles, so we're going to definitely invite Jason to join us up here and to officially light our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
our candles have been lit and our bracha has been said. We are officially amidst our Shabbat, so I hope that we can all exhale the last week a little bit and breathe in the sweetness of the next 25 hours of Shabbat as we further sweeten our time with the words of Kiddush, which can be found in your Siddurim, by the way, on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei piri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'vratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
So now we have sweetened our 25 hours with the words of Kiddush and with a little bit of juice and wine. And we are going to continue now with Kabbalat Shabbat, bringing in the Shabbat bride into our midst with Lecha Dodi, which can be found on page 20 and 21. We'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we get to verse 9, we'll be standing and facing the door to officially welcome in the Shabbat bride. Pages 20 and 21, Lecha Dodi. We continue now with Chatzi Kaddish, which can be found on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בלמד יברח ירצה וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון, וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה, ובזמן קריב ואמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולם מהמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקדושה בריחו לעילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעולמה, מאמרו, Amen.
Continue now with our call to worship with Baruch Hu on page 28, and together we stand. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma potech she'arim, ובדבונם משנה עיתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe. Adonai, you bring on the evening, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Let's continue on page 33. And let's alternate paragraphs at the bottom of the page. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love and this holiest of works and living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. 34:35.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך ולבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue on page 39. At the top of the page, let's read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, there's eternally Egypt, there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Micha Mocha, Song of Redemption, page 40. Baruch Adonai Poreh Sukkot Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Amo Yisrael. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. May lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Reminding us that there should always be lots and lots of love amidst each and every one of us.
Let peace and friendship
continue now with the Amidah, page 46, and together we stand.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekoneh HaKol, V'zocher Chaste Avot ve'imahot, Umevii Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid Hashem, Mechalkel hayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom elach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman atah lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take some time now for our own silent prayers, thoughts, and meditations, beginning here on page 52 through page 62. When you're finished, please be seated. So raise your hand, please, if you have ever, thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Avivi girls for following the direction perfectly as they were supposed to. Thank you. Raise your hand if this has happened to you. If you have maybe left your house, maybe you're still like in the garage, or you just left and you realize you forgot something, and you immediately go back, back home. Yes, all right, good. How many people have like done it at a longer distance? Meaning, how many of you have maybe like driven and realized that you've driven maybe for like 5 or 10 minutes and realized I still have to go back home, particularly, and I'll say for myself, for my cell phone. If I realize I don't have my cell phone, you have to go back for the cell phone. Great, thank you. So what's interesting is that once we do that, we don't know how the time barrier works, meaning should you have left when you left, or should you have left when you left because you were late, and then you will never know, right? Ultimately, your time dimension shifts the second that you go back into the garage, or you forget your keys, or you forget this, or you forget that. I'm very thankful for Siri, because she reminds me all the things that I do forget. I'm often very proud of myself for when I do get a reminder, I think to myself, I'm a genius, because I knew I was going to forget this. And now I'm reminding myself, and look at me how smart I am, because I knew that I forget everything. I'm a genius. Thank you to Siri. Okay, so this week's Torah portion actually has one of these moments, and I think we are thankful for the oops, I forgot something moment. So the Torah portion this week is called Vayishlach, and it is maybe one of the coolest Torah portions in the entire Torah, besides Shlach Lecha, which is the Torah portion that I read when I became a bar mitzvah, because that one's the coolest. Thank you very much. But besides that, there is a Torah portion called Vayishlach, and it is the story of Jacob wrestling the angel. So if we know that story, it is a very popular story. And so Jacob is sort of the continuation this week of Jacob's story. Jacob and Esau, if you know his brother, are not buddies. They are not very close, even though they're brothers. And then Jacob finds out that Esau is heading his way with lots and lots of men, 400 men. And so Jacob gets nervous and thinks that his brother is coming to kill him, because he wasn't so kind to him a little earlier. And so he's very nervous, and if you know how the Torah portion works, Jacob then takes his 2 wives and their sort of handmaidens and all of their children, and puts them all in ranking order, which is a nice thing to do with your spouses, to be like, you're my favorite spouse, and you're my least favorite spouse. That worked out really well, I feel like, in the relationship between the family. And he lines them up, and then with all the belongings, they cross this really cool river called the Jabbok, and he's trying to get away from Esau because he thinks Esau is coming towards him. So this is the setup. Why is the Torah portion so good? Because it says all that stuff. It says that he's on the run. It says that he packs up all their stuff. He says that he packs up all the wives and their children, and that he goes across the Jabbok. And then it says, literally the text says, and he was alone. And then the second after it says he was alone, it says, and then he wrestled with a man. So it's interesting because it says he was alone, and then immediately it says, and then he wrestled with a man. So how could he be wrestling with anyone if he was alone is the big question of the moment. And that question we're going to talk about more intricately tomorrow at 8:30 during our service and Torah discussion. So you should just stay and be part of our conversation. But I'm going to let you know that this has been puzzling me for years and years. And I want to share with you this really cool teaching that you'll either go with me on this ride or you'll say it's very far-fetched, but I didn't make it up. It's a real commentary. So it says that he runs, it says that he's alone, and then he says that he wrestles. So the commentary, of course, asks the question, how is he alone and how is he wrestling? And it says that he was alone, and then he realizes that he forgot something. So he goes back. And he goes back because he realizes that he forgot this like little set of jars that he had. And they're important to him because the little jars actually had some oil in them. And he used them in last week's Torah portion for this one section. And he really likes this set of jars that he goes back for. You don't have to like this commentary. I didn't invent it, but it's a real commentary. He goes back for these jars. And because he goes back for the jars, he meets this man. Had he not gone back for the jars, he might not have met this man, and we don't know what the story's like. So he meets this man, and when he meets this man, if you know the story really well, they start to wrestle with one another, and you realize, or you don't realize, you're not sure if Jacob's wrestling with an angel or Jacob's wrestling with a human, and it's nighttime. We know it's nighttime. And they're wrestling, and at some point, one of them is winning. Jacob is winning, actually. And then the sun starts to come up, and Jacob has this man or angel sort of pinned in this wrestling move, and this angel or person says, you have to let me go because it's daybreak. The sun is rising, and I have to go. And so Jacob says, okay, I'll let you go, but only if you bless me. And so what does the angel do? The angel says, fine, I will bless you, and the blessing I'm going to essentially give you is this: no longer will you just be called Jacob, but you will also be called Israel. And there's where the name Israel comes from. And he says, because you struggled with humans and the divine. So it's possible he was wrestling an angel. So this is the story that I have for us, or the question is, had he not gone back for the little pots in this story, maybe we would never have had the wrestling, and we never would have had the wrestling with the angel, and we never have this moment where Jacob becomes Israel, and we become, by the way, the children of Israel. We are Israel. And Israel means to wrestle with God. We are God wrestlers, and so we're this great moment. Ta-da! Yay. So the question I have for us is, do you buy the story that he has to go back for the jars, and it's because of the significance of that we get the rest of the story? Like, do we need this story to get us to this point? What do we think? Those of us who are still awake, please share with me your thoughts. If you have been dozing or you're unconscious, and you're maybe like in between that like sleepiness, keep your eyes closed. It's totally fine. I would also like a nap, so that's perfectly fine. Anyone who wants to share their thought, like, do you think we need this moment of these little jars to get us through there? Yes? Okay, so you're saying the wrestling was destined for us no matter what, whether he had the little jars or little pots that he had or little jugs that he had, it wouldn't have made a difference, and so fine, great, okay, we would have wrestled anyway, great, okay. Any other thoughts? Yes, I knew that was coming. I knew a comment was coming from over here. Yes. I'm just gonna make a Disney reference. Okay, are you gonna sing? In the show Loki. Oh, in the Marvel show. Thank you. Wow. Mm. And so Jacob, up until this point, has been not changed by the journey, but this is where he's changed by. Nice. And if you know Loki, that there are like side time breaks that you could have, and so you're saying that maybe this is a time break, that we needed this moment to shoot us off into this time period. Thank you for bringing Marvel into our conversation. That's amazing. Yes, way to go. I love Marvel, and so thank you for doing that. I didn't even plan on that, but thank you very much. So yes, any other thoughts about this moment? Yes.
I was just thinking that maybe it's because of exactly what you said, is that Israel is always going to be wrestling with the divine and the humanity, and that's like just sort of Israel and us as a people.
So maybe we're always going to be wrestling. We were destined to be these wrestlers with the divine. That's who we are. We're Israel. We are we are God wrestlers. We are the great, beautiful. Yes.
It's a story that gives us hope and really relates to what we do every day in Israel. So it's good.
Beautiful. So it's very relatable. It's relatable that we would also hypothetically forget something, like I often do, and then go back and come back. Here's the extra twist that you can really leave, or yes, last comment, yes? Okay, so there's like an internal struggle for him also. That's perfect, and which we're going to talk about a lot more tomorrow. So that's perfect. So we'll keep the internal struggle for tomorrow. Yes?
Yeah, I was just wondering if Jacob had not gone back and God wanted the people of Israel, would he have chosen someone else at a later time?
Right. So have Jacob and I gotten back, and God wanted the sort of the future of the Jewish people to stem from this moment, and he didn't go back. Jacob didn't go back. Then would there be another people who are sitting here? You're saying hypothetically. Oh, find someone else. To find another character. You're saying it wouldn't be Jacob would be Israel. It'd be someone. It'd be Aaron who'd be Israel, or it'd be someone else who'd be Israel. Be nice. It'd be Jeff who'd be Israel. For instance, it could be. There's a nice sort of alliteration, I feel like, between Jeff and Israel. So here's the final part of this ride you can decide to go with or not go with on me. Here is the extra point to why this little jar might be so important for the story in this midrash, in this little side bend, is that the commentary on the commentary is that jar of oil ends up to be the jar of oil for Hanukkah. I don't write this stuff. I just report it. So it's almost to say that God almost rewards the moment, the jar, and the situation to say, because you went back, because of this thoughtful move backwards to then move forward, everyone's getting rewarded for it. And because of that, when you need it, that jar will be sitting there with the oil in it for us to use and perpetuate the story later. So, on this Shabbat, I invite us all to think of the steps that we take and the decisions that we make, because sometimes they really mean nothing. And sometimes we don't know what they mean. And maybe we're meant to turn back a little bit, or we're meant to forget the keys, or that's how we meet someone that we didn't meet before. That's how we have an interaction we weren't planned to have before. And so I invite us to keep our eyes open and not just live with blinders on, but also look to the people and the places around us to think, maybe it's not such a bad idea sometimes to go back for the little jug of oil or the jar of oil, because then we get back to this beautiful story. Yes? Right, exactly. It's possible to say there's no such thing as coincidences, that maybe this was sort of meant to be, and because that jar that he goes to look for ends up being the jar, and the jar perpetuates the story and gets us to Hanukkah. And the last thing I'll say is, maybe it's definitely not a coincidence that this Torah portion falls in the month of Kislev. And Kislev is the month of Hanukkah. Nah. Shabbat Shalom. We think of those in our community who are in need of healing, physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. We're thinking of Jonathan Mark Angel, Gary Bendel, Tori Bendel, Diane Brownick, Lauren Karajan, Elaine Cohen, Bob Dobrin, Nancy Dobrin, Nelson Duncan, Marty Gilman, Leora Goldhirsch, Rachel Greenfader, Sharon Calliner, Debbie Karish, David Kushner, Tamar Lehman, William Levy, Laurel Mosley, Heather Nitch, Gary Riolo, Beth Rifkind, Kathy Ruggiero, Jennifer Marie Salad, Joshua Avi Salad, Miriam Shoemaker, Sheila Smith, Betsy Solomon, Robert Solomon, Nelson Soto, Michael Zoll, Moshe Ben Sarah, Ali Goldstein, and to those names, we had any name that you'd like to add at this time.
Andrew Glass.
Marcy Silverman.
Mishbeach can be found on page 253 in your Siddur.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
It's a pleasure to invite Renee Nadel up here to join us on the Bima, founding member, past president of our congregation, and she has some announcements for us on behalf of the congregation, and not only announcements, but only the way Renee can give announcements, which are really good announcements. It's like beyond regular announcements.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nope.
Does this work? Yes. It does? You can hear me? Great. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Welcome. You had a perfect excuse to not come tonight. It's cold out. You could have just said, hey, it's chilly, stay home, wrap myself up, don't have to come. But you're here. You came. You did it. And look at the incredible gift you got. We got our adult choir right here. That was our gift, as well as our band, which only at the moment is Howie Newmark, but still, that is our band for the moment. So because you were brave enough to come in the cold weather, look at the gift. Look at the gift. It made such a difference. It was wonderful having you tonight. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Terrific. I love it. And a mazel tov to the Jacobson family. We heard a little bit from Jason's little bit of what he did earlier, but we know there's a lot more to come. He tells me he's ready, he's prepared, and he's going to do a great job. So we wish you and your family, the whole mishpucha, a big mazel tov. Couple announcements. Well, you know, Hanukkah is coming, and this year it's coming exactly on Christmas Day, but we get 8 days. They get only. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that we win, but never mind. Okay, so we have a couple of Hanukkah things going on here that you want to know about. Oh, the wonderful menorah contest. We have had this for so many years. So many years we've done the menorah contest. I encourage you, you have to make a menorah. It's not what you buy or you have from your grandmother. This is something you have to make, a creative effort, and we display them all, and it's so wonderful to see, but they are all due here by this Sunday. So if you're going to do it, you need to hurry. And then we announce the winner after. What else? We have a couple of other things. The empty nesters. The empty nesters are having a latkes and libation Hanukkah celebration next Thursday, 6 o'clock, right in the VIP lounge. We do happen to have Marcy right here. Raise your hand so they see you. If you have any questions, speak to Marcy about it. I know Lainey will help you too. So that's one other Hanukkah thing that we're having. And finally, Hanukkah is falling on Christmas, but you have the opportunity on Christmas Day to go to Town Center, right here, local, and to feed people in need. You don't have to bring the food. You only need to bring yourselves and the time and to be involved to feed the people there, brighten their days. In order to do that, you need to register online ahead of time, and it's really a lovely mitzvah to do. 2 weeks from tonight is when we will be doing Hanukkah right here, but it's a little bit different. Instead of coming at 6:30, we have a 5:15, starting with a community service project, a chicken and latke dinner, and then Shabbat service. So 2 weeks from tonight, I encourage you to do that. And one other thing, I mentioned it last week, we have our CBI book club coming up this Thursday night, 7 o'clock on Zoom. You don't have to go outside, just turn on your computers. And the book that we are doing is Dinners with Ruth. You all know which Ruth? RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So if you haven't read the book, it's worth it. Come join us, and I'll look for you in your little squares on the computer. I wish you all a wonderful Shabbat, and stay safe and stay warm. And I'll let you talk about
Oh, thank you, yes. I told you, it's not just announcements. They're like announcements from Renee. I think we should call it that, like announcements from Renee. It sounds like a podcast. And shockingly, I think you have an announcement, don't you?
Yes, January 24th is Disney Shabbat, so you don't want to miss it. For those of you who have seen it before, it'll be a repeat, but January 24th.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. I think that's all of the announcements that we're supposed to cover. It's good. Is there anything else that we have to do? I don't think so. No? Okay, great. It's wonderful. Join us after the service for a little oneg and a nice schmooze. We're going to begin to conclude our service now with Aleinu, page 282, and together we stand.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, בנאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה Echad.
We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those and we have drawn into our hearts with our own Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing in the period of Shiva, the immediate 7-day mourning period. We think of Ronald Harkavy, and in Shloshim, the immediate 30-day mourning period. We think of Myra Shaughnessy and our yortzites that occur for us this week. Michael McHale, Solomon Hetch, Max Paluski, Joseph Beam, Joseph Barris, Paula Katz, Irene Kortner, Molly Nagel, Louise Abrams, Ruben Silverstein, Abraham Levitz, Elizabeth Cooler, Stan Harris, Eleanor Candell, William Weinstock, Alexander Lebo, Lee Gittleman, Chaim Scheitenberg, Alexander Billick, Sheldon Green, Abraham Ryder, Sarah Polsky, Beatrice Shandloff, Samuel Schwartz, Anna Moskowitz, Bessie Toby Greenberg, Rosabelle Rosen, Louis Grauer, Ben Chernikoff, Nora Shaughnessy, Jack Cohen, Storm Shaughnessy, Elsie Pascow, Philip Nadell, Mordechai, Judah Leiker, Riva Steinberg, Dora Pintus. To those names, we had any name that you'd like to add at this time.
Michael Dovdovani. Ethel Adler and Robert Kirkenberg.
Kaddish Tom Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. Yitgadal v'kadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad yivrach cherutei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yesh shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lemei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitada v'yitale v'yitala shmei lekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ba'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya, chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. If you are under the age of bar and bat mitzvah, we'd love to have you join us over here so we can do kiddush, not kiddush, motzi together. We already did kiddush. Anyone under the age of bar and bat mitzvah? Anyone under the age of bar and bat mitzvah? Come and join us. Come and join us. Come and join us over here. Come on down. Come on down. You seem so unsure. Come down. It's fine. Don't worry. Cantor Muchnick showered. It's totally fine. Come on down. Come closer. It's perfectly fine. It's all right.
Did I? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We're going to conclude with Shalom Aleichem, which can be found, really, on page 374. Although we know Shalom Aleichem. Mazel tov to you, Jason. We'll see you tomorrow. A huge thank you, a beautiful, beautiful thank you to our choir. Thank you so much for the beautiful music and the presence for being with us. For the band, thank you so much to have the band with us, and for all of you. Adonai oz lamo yiten, Adonai varech et amo v'shalom. May God give strength unto our people. Continue to bless us with love and strength and peace. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom.